Welcome back, everybody. I've got this drawer here I was building for my kitchen, and when I went to go install it, it ended up being about a ½ inch too big. Now, I don't know if I mismeasured or if I calculated wrong for the depth I needed or the width I needed for the drawer slides, but the drawer is too wide. And this is constructed with pocket holes. Anybody that's used pocket holes knows that if you make a mistake and you have to shorten up your board just a little bit, you can't shorten up your pocket hole a little bit as well. It's already been drilled at the depth that you drilled it initially. So if you try and reuse those pocket holes, you're going to blast right through your board. Now there's three options here, I guess. You can replace the board and start over. If your board is big enough, you can drill new holes and use those holes instead, which in my case isn't an option. Or third, and what I'm going to show you today, is a way to basically fix that board, cut your new size, and be able to reuse the same piece, cut new holes. So if that sounds like something you can get some value out of, stick around and I'll show you how I do it. All right, now that we've got our drawer disassembled, we're going to move on to the next step. You're going to need a 3/8 inch dowel. Now, this is the right size dowel if you're using the standard Craig jig for making your pocket holes. This one just happens to be poplar. I think it was like $1 at my home store here. But I've got 4 boards here. We're only going to cut down one side so we don't have to repair both sides of the pocket holes. So we're going to cut all the whole ½ inch off of one side of each of these boards. And so we're going to need 12 of these. So we're going to go cut those on the bandsaw real quick. If you don't have a bandsaw, you can use a handsaw, you can use a jigsaw, you can use the circular saw, chop saw, anything you've got will work. All right, next step. Now, I know this is a little backwards for some of you guys, but we're going to get our wood white and sticky before we put it in. So we're going to get that white, sticky, oozy, gooey liquid on that nice hard wood. Now, it is small, but it's not the size. It's about the motion in the ocean, right, guys? That's what my wife keeps telling me. And then we're going to stuff it as deep in the hole as we can get it. Just really shove that thing down in there. All right, now I got 11 more to do. I'm so excited about the first one. I don't know what's going on. All right, so we got these glued in. The next step is going to be getting these cut down flat. So there's a couple different ways you can do that. You can use a flush cut saw. Those are a hand saw. Those you can pick up usually at about any home store. Or if you've got a bandsaw, you can run this through the bandsaw and cut it down. You just need to get it pretty close because we'll finish that up with the sander to get it the rest of the way. So let's get that done real quick. Okay, we've got those sanded down. You'll notice I did not use the bandsaw. The bandsaw did not actually end up being tall enough. And I had the belt sander that made short work of this. But you will notice on this, the sander is a little aggressive, and I cut down through the whole layer of plywood there on that side. So it's the inside, you won't see that. but it is something that happens, so keep that in mind. Now all we need to do is remeasure and then cut these down to the proper widths that they should have been to begin with. So I'm going to go measure 4 or 5 times. I'm going to mark it. I'm going to probably measure 3 or 4 more times. And then I'm finally going to make one cut, see if it's right, before I make the other 3 cuts to finish these 2 drawers. So I'm going to get that done real quick and we can move to the final step. Alright, our final step to repairing these boards is to recut the pocket holes on the side that we filled. And for me, this is kind of the most nerve-wracking, because this is where you decide if the couple hours worth of work and waiting that you put in actually paid off, or if those plugs just fall out. So let's drill some new holes and see if those plugs hold after we get the new holes drilled. There you have it, 4 repaired pieces from missized boards that I cut that had pocket holes. Now the new pocket holes I drilled in here aren't perfectly aligned with the old ones because I didn't draw lines. That's on me, but again, in my situation, these will be hidden. If you were going to paint this also, because the bit has just a little bit of play, you do end up with a little bit of gap here. You might want to fill that with wood filler if you need to, but these plugs will hold just fine. And the reason they won't pop out is the curve of the pocket hole will hold it in, and when you sink a screw down in, it's going to, even if the glue failed, it's going to act basically as a washer in there at that point. So it can't push through the edge of the board. But all in all, these turned out pretty good, and now I can get back to putting together the drawers that I messed up to begin with. So if you like that, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you like, and I'll catch you on the next one.